Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squad for boxing news and views from around the internet. It appears Tyson Fury's fast talk to sell his upcoming fight on September 14th in Las Vegas is catching up with him, with two of his division rivals refuting claims made by Fury that they turned down the fight with him. So I'll start in this video with Kubrat Pulev and then move on to Jarrell Miller's promoter Cohen, and then a few comments from Fury's co-promoter Arum, who's one, defending the fight, but two, giving an update on ticket sales. So I think that will be a barometer to some extent if Tyson Fury's popularity is picking up, at least in Las Vegas, with casual fans who may want to go see the boxing. Anyway, starting with Kubrat Pulev. So he took the unusual step, and remember, Pulev is a ESPN fighter as well. He fights with Top Rank, has had one fight on his deal with ESPN, that was in March against Bogdan Dinu. He's taken the unusual step of issuing a press release to actually address Tyson Fury's claims directly. So I'll just get a quote here up on screen. So Tyson Fury, on August 17th, he spoke to an ESPN boxing telecast. He said, "We offered to fight Kubrat Pulev, Alexander Povetkin, Charles Martin, Trevor Bryan, Jarrell Miller. The list goes on and on. All these guys were either unable to fight or not willing." So those were Tyson Fury statements. It's not something that has been made up by the media or myself, which some ardent Fury supporters are claiming that some of Tyson Fury statements were never made by Tyson Fury. But this is a Tyson Fury quote. It cannot be disputed. So Kubrat Pulev issued a press release, which is a very unusual move just to refute a comment. Not just social media, and we'll get to a social media in a second, but an actual press release you can see here on screen. Responding to Tyson Fury's recent remarks, IBF number one contender Kubrat Pulev says he will crush Fury right after he wins the heavyweight championship. IBF number one rated heavyweight contender Kubrat the Cobra Pulev has responded to former unified WBA, IBF and WBO and current lineal heavyweight champion Tyson Fury's public claims that he turned down a fight with the Gypsy King. Pulev asserts it's the exact opposite situation, in fact. Fury is using me and some other boxers that he knows are currently unavailable for different reasons, so he can just get some PR. A few years ago, Fury refused to fight with me, not because he wasn't available like I am right now. He was available. He was just scared. Goes on to say, by winning a unanimous decision, okay, this is him getting his IBF shot, which he is going to be fighting the winner of the Ruiz and Joshua rematch, it says here. Fury made the claim that Pulev is afraid to fight while justifying facing his next opponent, lesser-known Swedish heavyweight Otto Wallin, on September 14th in Las Vegas. My goal is to become a world champion, not just to fight random unknown opponents like he's doing. Winning those belts are my main focus right now. Fury's turn will come, and when it does, I will make him just as powerless as his cousin, who also used to talk a lot. So that concludes the press release. And on his Facebook page, Kubrat Pulev says, "Enjoy the status of linear champion in your mind, Gypsy King. I'm lining up a fight against the winner of Ruiz Joshua for the real belts. So join the line, your time will come." So Kubrat Pulev clearly not liking his name being used for what he says is PR for Tyson Fury's upcoming fight. And some of what Tyson Fury is doing right now is effectively what Kubrat Pulev is saying. He is on a mission to sell the fight, to try drum up some interest against what Pulev says is a lesser-known opponent in Sweden's Otto Wallin, which is true. Otto Wallin doesn't have a big profile in the heavyweight division, and actually Tyson Fury is going to be man alone here trying to sell that fight. So he has to make all manner of statements to try help drum up some interest. And clearly Pulev hasn't liked his name being used for PR purposes. And another division rival that's not too pleased with some of the comments that Tyson Fury has been making is Jarrell Miller. His promoter responding on his behalf, Team Miller on Tyson Fury turned down what? We never had an offer. And getting down here to the quotes, Cohen, his co-promoter, how can we turn down a fight we were never officially offered? Yes, we spoke with Top Rank, Fury's co-promoter, about the fight. I would describe those talks as tangential conversations at best. There were never serious discussions about Tyson Fury fighting Jarrell on that date, and there certainly wasn't an offer made. And then further down here, he says, maybe Mr. Fury was led to believe that we were offered the fight and that we declined, but I'm not going to waste time wondering why he would make such a claim. What I can tell you is that a month from now, Jarrell Big Baby Miller will be free from the WBA suspension and is very eager to return to the ring as soon as possible. Once he's cleared, we will happily entertain any real fight offer that is made to us. By then, it won't be as easy for others to mention his name without having to actually follow through. Greg Cohen's statements. So he's Jarrell Miller's co-promoter, speaking on behalf of Miller. So Miller's promoter, which is also Miller, as well as Kubrat Pulev, not happy that their name is being sort of hung out there in public by Tyson Fury, who is listing him with a slew of other heavyweights, including Alexander Povetkin, also Trevor Bryan and Charles Martin. And we have heard that Charles Martin turned down the fight. That was one of the things that has been reported. The whole Trevor Bryan situation hasn't been clear what's gone on there, and Alexander Povetkin not clear what's gone on there, although I have seen some comments which said Alexander Povetkin hadn't been offered the fight, but it's hard to know what's what. But someone who is on the same side of the street is Kubrat Pulev. Clearly he wasn't happy with his name being dropped. So we'll just get on to a couple of other things really quickly. Bob Arum, so he is defending the fight, saying that people who are unhappy about the opponent don't know anything about boxing. He's a big, hard Swedish guy, undefeated. He is going to beat Tyson Fury. Hopefully not, but he certainly is in there with a chance. It's a good fight. You have to understand there aren't that many good world-class fighters around in the heavyweight division that are willing to get in the ring with Tyson Fury. He was in the United States and he spoke English. I tried some other fighters that are probably better known, but they turned it down. So we signed him the best available. There were at least 3 other fighters that turned it down. Well, it'll be interesting for Bob Arum to clear that up, and who were those 3 other fighters? Apparently Charles Martin was one, but it would be good to have a little bit of sunlight on that, because obviously Tyson Fury named about 6 different fighters, whereas Bob Arum has said 3. So if it's 3, it can't obviously be the 6th that Fury has listed. And remember, he also mentioned Dillian Whyte's name as someone who also wasn't available. Although, I think given the circumstances, that was never going to happen. But, most of this is just to justify the fight. Bob Arum was also saying relatively the same sort of stuff regarding Tom Schwartz, that it was a good fight and that people who were sort of talking that fight down don't know boxing. And I've sort of said, look, this isn't the sort of fight that most fans wanted, but it's the fight we've got, and we have to accept that. But there have been a few comments rolling through from people saying this is a very good fight and that this is a fight that fans do want to see. And I'm sorry, I just find that completely overblown and slightly delusional. I know there's only a small, pool of people who are in that category, but this wasn't a first choice fight. It's really about a 15th choice fight, because Otto Wallin is a fringe contender at best. But I'm trying not to harp on about this, but Tyson Fury, with some of his statements, he's really doing this to himself. And we know it is basically, he's trying to talk himself up something chronic, say he's the next big thing in Las Vegas in terms of an entertainer. Bob Arum, after the Schwartz fight, compared Tyson Fury to Elvis, even though they only sold 5,500 tickets. And Arum has given an update saying that in the first day of tickets going on sale, over 1,000 tickets had been purchased. So it's, and as this article here notes, it's unclear if those were from boxing fans or from ticket resellers. But 1,000 tickets, I guess that's about 20% of what Fury got for his last fight, which is about, just over 5,000. And that could be a barometer for Tyson Fury's popularity, or maybe lack thereof. If it's only another sort of mediocre crowd, 4, 5, 6, 7,000, people will question what's going on here, because, the last fight, there were a whole bundle of comps for that fight, but paying customers, that is the real sort of barometer of where his popularity is, because if he's struggling to crack, a third of the venue, or, half of the venue in terms of what's open and what's been closed off for the night, it doesn't bode well for his general popularity overall. It's not the be-all and end-all, but it is a measure that can't be ignored. Because if he was truly as big as he thinks he is, as he's saying he is, as Top Rank wants him to be, then he really should be packing these venues out, or at least having over 10,000 people there. So we'll see what happens here. But if he gets another sort of so-so crowd, I think people will be, is he really actually a big star in the United States? Him, like Deontay Wilder, they needed each other for that fight to boost their profiles, and they did that. But without the right dance partner, I'm not sure it's possible for him to sort of be man alone selling pay-per-views, all that sort of stuff, because obviously he's got to have the right opponent to actually get fans interested more broadly. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.